Welcome to episode 313 of the Working Fans Podcast. We are back for another week to talk wrestling. If you like what you see, please hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that subscribe button. We're going to start off. I caught up on it this morning. It has been quite the work week. WWE Unreal episode 4. Dave, I'm going to give you my thoughts since I freshly watched this. I did not care for this episode at all. You know, it highlighted, let me get out my notes here. It talked about the thing I think I liked the most is Michael Hayes and Xavier Woods talking about their heel turns and what it can mean. But I mean, it was interesting to see the Cena stuff laid out. I don't know. This one just didn't hit me as much. I didn't feel as much of a connection with it. It felt like more of a presentation by the WWE.
Yeah, this was more about the Elimination Chamber, if I remember correctly, and setting up John Cena's heel turn. I do remember, you can correct me on this, isn't there a part where, oh God, now I'm blanking out on his name, Joseph, the rapper who's heavily involved in this with the Travis Scott. Then his name quoted as saying, I maybe need to change careers. Isn't that in this episode?
No, okay. That maybe he needs to change careers.
Like he just enjoyed it out there so much. Like,
no, that was like 2 episodes ago. This is just one where you see him called in. He's kind of featured as The Rock's guest. You can see the excitement going into the heel turn.
Now, I remember they were discussing the heel turn with The Rock, right? We saw several steps of this, with, Triple H and how he approached Cena, and then you see him how he approaches Rock and, Rock. And doesn't Punk have something? Doesn't he have some input on this, like towards the end of the Elimination Chamber match? Like, not the actual heel turn.
Yeah, they show a scene where they're talking about how the Elimination Chamber can go.
Yeah.
And you see CM Punk, John Cena, Logan Paul, all of them sitting around discussing it. And that was interesting, too, because you kind of got to see a little bit of the creative process where there's the overall idea in place. Mm-hmm. And then you've got the different guys. Well, we could do this and it would do that. And that part was kind of interesting. That was the most interesting, I think, to me.
Yeah, and that's what sticks out for me. Again, I watched this when this first came out almost a month ago now, so I haven't watched this episode. Usually every week I get to watch the episode beforehand. That didn't happen this week. So as I recall, this was really, I felt like a transitional episode to me after a really great episode focused on the ladies the week before. I thought this was one of the more missable episodes.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess you're going to have them. I thought with how many episodes is this series? 6?
Yeah, so 2 more.
You would think that you wouldn't have like a kind of filler episode like this, but it was big. Maybe some people connected with it. If you enjoyed this episode, let us know in the comments. What are we missing about the hype about this? And we're going to move on to Triple Mania 33 was last weekend. Dave, how did you enjoy the show? Because this is your first Triple Mania, I believe.
Yeah, first Triple Mania in whole watching. I mean, I had seen highlights in past years. Vampiro flipping out about his music, if you remember that.
I remember that one well.
Yeah, I believe
that
farted.
Was the year that when Vampiro was getting into the ring, I believe it was to face off with Conan.
Yes.
And that had been like this big feud they were building, and it was a hilarious blooper from that time frame.
Yeah, I believe Matt Stryker was there trying to convince them, just go ahead, you're a legend. And he's like, I want my fucking music.
Yeah.
So that was my past experience with Triple Mania. I enjoyed this show a lot. This little mini Royal Rumble they had in the beginning here. Hold on a second here.
Oh, you talking about the Copa Bear doll?
Yeah, the Copa Bear doll. Here we go. I had the wrong card pulled up here. Notes. This was a previous one. Yeah, almost was the big winner here. Almost coming out, facing off with Microman. That was a sight.
Right off his pot of gold.
Get hot as gold. Dude, this was a lot of silliness, but there was some good stuff. Otis dancing with one of the exoticas. I enjoyed
Yeah,
it.
Pimpinella Escarlita.
I thought it was fun. I had a good time with this. I mean, there was some more silliness later on the show. I believe I talked to you about that I didn't enjoy as much because I felt like the placement was a little off. But right here in the beginning, this little battle royal, this was fun. And hey, it was interesting to see Omos used in this capacity, and we'll see how Omos does in AAA.
Yeah, it was a nice way for them to kick off the show. The Copa Bear Dolls or the Copa Royal Rumbles that basically start these shows are always fun. Sometimes in Mexico, I don't know if I'd say they're a little sillier, but you'd see like a vast array of characters come out.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed it. One thing I will say about this card is it was definitely AAA, but it
Yes.
was like the most Americanized AAA I've seen yet. They went from their 6-sided ring to their 4-sided ring, but that arena they were in looked huge, and it was a great look for AAA overall.
Well produced. Microman for president, says Cage My IQ. Thank you for the comments, sir. Good to hear from you. Dr. Ragnar Jr. defeated Messias with Dorian. This was okay. I didn't really love it or hate it. I just it was interesting, and I think I was more distracted by Conan in the crowd with Dr. Wagner Sr. going at it a little bit. I wanted to see a little more of that. But this was fine, and Dr. Wagner Jr. gets the win.
Yeah, well, this is El Hijo del Dr. Wagner Jr. So it's like Dr. Wagner Jr. Jr. He comes out with Dr. Wagner Jr., right, has that connection to Conan. Yeah, of the matches on this card, it's big for AAA. Their Latin American Championship. El Hijo del Dr. Wagner Jr. does time in Pro Wrestling Noah. So you're getting kind of that also international feel. Wow, so, I could see it.
They want to market Microman like they do Mr. Iguana. We'll see. It'll be interesting.
What I'd really like to see out of this AAA partnership, and I don't know if it's possible, is maybe getting mini wrestling back into form. It's one of those things that Vince had early on in WWF.
Yeah.
And it stood out, and then it went out of favor. They did it a little bit in the mid 2010s. So I say bring back the minis.
Do the minis still have a place in Mexico? Do you still see them in AAA? Because I'd say that'd be the way we'll see them displayed if it's a normal thing. I don't know. It's just the second card I've really watched for AAA now.
Yeah, from time to time they'll bring out minis.
All right.
So maybe it could be like an occasional feature.
Judgment Day. Finn Balor, JD McDonough, Raquel Rodriguez with Roxanne Perez defeated Mr. Iguana, Nino Hamburguesa, and Lola Vice. This was a silly match. It was a 6-person match. We had the Iguana come out. I liked Mr. Iguana the first time I saw him. Still enjoy him, but I think at this point I just wasn't really feeling it. And then Finney brought out the mini demon, and I don't know. Then we had hamburgers come out, and at this point in the middle of the card, I was like, all right. This wasn't really my thing, but it was fine for what it was. Judgment Day get the win.
Yeah, this was definitely AAA. You got Hamburger Boy coming out there, big guy, staple of AAA.
Yeah.
It was interesting to see Finn Balor break out a puppet of his own, and then WWE start to sell that puppet. Not surprising that they did it, but it's, playing into that AAA thing. So it was a nice touch.
Cage Maku. He liked it better than I did, which is fine. Fun match when the Demon Finn doll.
Laughing about it.
But you know what? I'll tell you what. This next match, this was wild. Pagano and Psycho Clown versus Los Garza. Street Fight AAA tag titles. Pagana and Psycho Clown get the tag titles. We saw barbed wire. We saw tables. We saw Spanish flies on barbed wire and tables. This was insanity, and this was fun. This was really the only hardcore match on the show, and I think it kind of stuck out.
Yeah, when you think of Pagano, you're going to think of that hardcore wrestling. You're teaming up two of the bigger stars of AAA, Pagano and Psycho Clown, and I thought it was a great match to feature him in.
And we had the women's match, women's champion Flammer defeated Fabi Apache and Natalia. And this was a fine match. And this is where I first noticed the heel referee a little bit in this match here. So I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, great to see Natalia on that international stage. I hope she gets featured a little more because, like, of the women on that roster, she's been there a long time. And in this era of women's wrestling, this is when you could really feature her huge.
Cage My Q talking about the match earlier. They didn't hold the titles for long, but at least they gave the Garzas fame for a few months. I appreciate the Garzas having the AAA tag belts. I thought it was something. And I appreciate Natalia being in this match and seeing her on Bloodsport, NWA, AAA. So this is a fun time for WWE being associated with all these companies. But
yeah, the Garzas with those tag titles, it's just a nice representation showing that they're in AAA. I mean, they had been in Mexico before that, so I'm sure it was a nice moment for them as well.
All right, and this is the match that's still the show for me, which is what you want. Main event, match of the night. Io del Vikingo defeated Dominic Mysterio, Dragon Lee, and El Grande Americano. At one point, we saw 3 El Grande Americanos. Io del Vikingo is booed heavily here. Gives you like 2015 Roman Reigns vibes. Dominic Mysterio cheered wildly. Dragon Lee was amazing in this. In the end, Dominic Mysterio loads up his mask, puts a mask on, loads it up. He's laying out everybody, lays out Vikingo. And then we have another mask guy come in the ring, and he pulls off Dom, and it's AJ Styles. AJ Styles at Triple Mania, kicks Dom in the gut, gives him the Styles Clash. Vikingo comes off with the big 450 splash. Vikingo retains the title, and now it's Vikingo and Dominic going to have a one-on-one match at Worlds Collide next, I believe it's in September 12th.
Yeah, coming up very quick. Glad to see they're getting another event in because, like, I really like this partnership, so I'd like to see more shows like that. Wild end of the show. Crazy to see Vikingo being booed. I heard that's possibly due to the fact that he displaced Alberto Del Rio, and Alberto's big in Mexico. And what do you think about Alberto El Patron? Do they bring him back? And could he thrive if brought back?
I mean, they could, I don't think they really want to deal with it. I don't think they care that much. The Mexican people, have seemed to take it out on Vikingo, and they're fine. And, I think wrestling anywhere, it's like anything. They could do something to eventually get Vikingo over, or they can go with it and just make him a heel. And I think they'd rather do that because even though Del Rio is a legend for them, Patron, I don't think they'd rather have to deal with the negative publicity of his past and given his age and stuff too. But Cage Q says Rey Mysterio has vouched for him, and that stuff could all make a difference. But yeah, I don't know. My gun to my head, I don't know if he returns. I'm kind of 50-50 on it. I'll say yes, but maybe it's like a year or two down the road.
See, I'm gonna say no, but maybe fan sentiment will grow so big that they'll kind of be forced to move their hand. And wild accusations against him. He's also had like a notoriously bad attitude, but people can change. Has he been putting in the work? Like, if he's got Rey Mysterio vouching for him, Rey, generally considered a good guy. So, you'd like to hope he's taken the turn, but we will have to see how that plays out. And we're going to have to see how this weekend plays out. We got 2 big events this weekend, but if you want to talk about counter programming, there was some big news this week about WrestlePalooza being announced in Indianapolis, right up against All Out, I believe. And what did you make of this news? I'm not a fan of this name, but it is what it is.
All In, actually, it'll be All In is this weekend?
All Out, I believe, is the September 20th weekend, because wasn't it All In Texas? And then All Out is like the event that's like at the end of the summer.
Oh, you are correct, sir. You are correct. Yes. So yes, WrestlePalooza. Now they got that from ECW days, right? Wasn't that an ECW?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's interesting.
Probably the safer of the names they could have gone with.
Yeah, that's true.
Do you want WWE Barely Legal up against All Out, or how about WWE Guilty as Charged? I
Yeah, yeah.
think we did that one a couple years ago.
I like it. Yeah, you know what I think is interesting? I believe September 20th, they're talking of doing Brock Lesnar versus John Cena too.
That's
So
huge. That would be a huge main event for this show. They've announced Pat McAfee will be there, so that could be a draw in
yeah,
Indianapolis.
yeah, and it's going to be on ESPN, right? So
Yeah,
I'm
the first of the pay-per-views to go there, I believe.
yeah, so they're trying to get people early on there. So now we're still going to have shows on Peacock, I guess, until January. They probably already committed, Survivor Series and a couple other shows, but this is an added show they're doing, and then in January it'll be from then on ESPN.
It is interesting to see the early rollout with ESPN because we're all wondering how this is going to work, how it's going to catch on. And this is really a good, a good test of what is it going to be like? Are people happy with it? You'll start hearing feedback like, oh, it was super easy to sign up. I had it through this. I had it through that. Some people might just pay the money and feel that it's worth it. Because as of this week that we're recording, the app just released, right?
Yes. I knew it was coming out. I knew it was coming out before January. The WWE is going to come on later. So, yeah, if it's out this week, I wasn't sure, but I knew it was coming up. So
I got to keep my eye out for reviews and see how it is. See if anything that I have is connected to it.
It's funny, though, because I wanted to potentially, and I think I'm just going to give us a segue here, but with having ESPN, added to this, I was thinking, man, I'd like to maybe, get rid of one of my other streaming services. And I was thinking Peacock might be on the chopping block if they're not going to have more WWE. But what's this news that came out here, Joseph?
Saturday night's main event they announced this week will be still broadcast on Peacock. And not surprising given the NBC connection. This dissuaded you, I take it, from getting rid of Peacock.
Probably. I mean, we'll see what happens. It's a quarterly event. I'm also very curious where the WWE library is going to stay because Peacock still has a lot of stuff on there right now. I like watching some of the old WCW stuff in particular. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But
I mean, from what I've heard, I think the library will stay here unless they start moving stuff to the WWE Vault YouTube channel, which if you haven't checked it out, has some incredible stuff. There's a WCW Vault as well. So far, it seems like ESPN is just for the new live events coming out. So if you want to catch a WWE pay-per-view, you're going to have that.
Right. And that's basically starts in January, other than it's the September show so far.
Yeah.
Let's see. We got Cage Mike in the comments here. I wonder if the numbers weren't great on NBC itself, and if the Goldberg thing had an effect on because of his speech getting cut off.
That's a great point to bring that up, because if you think about it, John Cena's retirement match is going to be on Saturday night's main event as well in December. They had to have learned from Goldberg, and they're not going to do that to Cena, are they? Or is Cena's speech going to be exclusively after the event?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, but if it's all just on Peacock, then that'll be fine. Yeah, I'm sure that they'll have it figured out anyway. With Cena, he's not getting cut off. The numbers are interesting. I don't know what the numbers are for the NBC events, if they were good or what they would be considered, but I don't think WWE really cares about Goldberg at all, honestly. So I doubt that played a factor.
No, they knew it was going to be big. If you're going to feature the Goldberg retirement match anywhere, you're going to want to have it there. Yeah. It's something they had built up, but yeah, I don't think he was a priority. I think it was just a nice shiny object to have in your portfolio.
Yes.
And we are going from Saturday night's main event to the first of the episodes this weekend, and I knew this was going to be a pay-per-view this weekend. I 100% forgot it was going to be during the afternoon. So I'm going to be working this day. I'm going to have to avoid spoilers, but I will be able to fast forward when I do eventually get to watch it. But AEW Forbidden Door this weekend, this card looks amazing. I already bought it because sometimes I wait to day of like AEW. Like I know they're gonna give me a good pay-per-view, but like there's like maybe a match or two on the card that's drawing me in. This one is stacked. Dave, let's get to that 0 hour and what is kicking off the event.
I don't have any 0 hour matches on my list. Do you?
Oh man, they're not allowing Big Boom AJ outside of the United States.
There are no 0 hour matches on my. I got 9 matches so far.
All right, let's give them to us. Maybe we'll get some more tomorrow night.
All right, Adam Copeland and Christian Cage versus Kip Sabian and now Killswitch because young Nick Wayne is injured. And so Killswitch is back. And I find that more interesting. But at the end of the day, I don't think Copeland and Christian Cage are back to lose. I say they're going to win here.
No, I saw that Killswitch return. That was interesting. He was somebody that kicked off AEW and was huge. But like for a while, he's just kind of slowly, I think, dropped in relevance. It was a big return. I think it's going to be a big obstacle to go up against Copeland and Cage, but they're not beating them. Copeland and Cage are walking out with that W.
Another matchup, Zack Sabre Jr., the IWG Heavyweight Championship on the line against Nigel McGuinness. I think this is super cool, but I don't think Zack Sabre Jr. is coming over to drop the IWGP title.
Same thing. I think it's just an opportunity to have Nigel in the ring with Zack Sabre Jr. in London. It's a huge match. You know, Nigel didn't think he was going to have a match years ago, and now he's stepping into the ring with the current IWGP champion, you know, somebody that mirrors his style. I think this is going to be a great technical match, but Nigel's got to walk away with it.
Hiromu Takahashi versus Kyle Fletcher, AEW TNT Championship. Again, great matchup, but opposite here. I don't think Hiromu is coming over to take this TNT title. I got to go Kyle Fletcher.
I'm right there with you. This has potential to steal the show. Hiromu, great in ring. Like if you want to go back years, check out Hiromu and Dragon Lee in CMLL. Check them out in ROH. Hiromu's going to put on a hell of a show, but Kyle Fletcher just got that championship, and he got it in a way that like he should have gotten it the event before. So he's definitely not going to be dropping it this close. Kyle Fletcher's leaving champion.
All right. And then we got a 4-way matchup. Mercedes Moné defending the AEW TBS championship against Alex Winsler, Bozilla, and Persephone. I might be messing that name up.
Oh, Persephone.
Okay. So 4-way championship. I'm gonna go.
Bozilla is an imposing talent. I believe I saw her in the ring with Megan Bayne. Yes. And there's not many people that stand like eye to eye with Megan Bayne and are that imposing. So this is going to be a great match, but Mercedes can't lose. It's just a chance to feature her against like 3 world-class female athletes.
Yeah, if she is going to lose, I'll say Alex Windsor is the one to take it because she's under AEW contract. But yes, I agree.
It just feels too soon for Alex Windsor. Like I haven't been watching AEW a ton, honestly, right. But she's like a name that's only come up in like the last month or so.
So another matchup, Timeless Toni Storm defends the AEW Women's Championship against Athena, the Ring of Honor Women's Championship. This is Athena's Casino Gauntlet Championship contract match. I'm going to say I'll go with an upset. I'll go with Athena.
I wanted to go with the upset and be different.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go with the upset and be exactly the same because this is a huge match. Athena has been doing what I want to say she's like the longest reigning ROH women's champion. She's been doing a lot of great wrestling that doesn't get seen a ton. And now she's getting her chance to go up against Toni Storm. I don't see her stepping up and not winning, because if Athena comes all this way and loses, where does that leave her? Toni can be losing that championship and still, like, she has the story of going for the rematch to try and going after her. So Cage My IQ is right there with us.
Yeah.
This is going to be Athena's time. I'm going to call this officially the highly potential match of the night.
So see, because here's another good one for you right here. Okada versus Swerve Strickland, AEW Unified Championship. I like Swerve, but I got to go with Okada.
This is what I'm saying, that this is such a stat card. You think one match could be match of the night, and then the next match comes along and sounds even bigger. Swerve and Okada is going to be great. I'm right there with you. Okada's keeping that championship.
All right, now we're going to go into some Dave Wild predictions, and I think some things are going to link here. The Hurt Syndicate, Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin in a three-way against Brody King and Bandito and FTR. For those of you who didn't see it, Brody and Bandito and FTR were in the tournament finals this week of the tag. They went to a draw, and now we got a three-way. I'm going FTR with the help of MJF, who I think might help his old teammates out here for maybe a little favor later on.
Interesting. I was going FTR, but I just saw them, like, I just want them to get championships back on those guys. They are a great tag team, and they're like that team that you want holding the gold, very good in ring, and have anybody come at them.
Yes.
It's going to be kind of sad to see Hurt Syndicate drop those titles, but it's going to be a great match. FTR pin Brody King. We'll be keeping an eye out for that, Cage.
We'll see. We'll see. Hurt Syndicate lose without getting pinned. I could see that. And I do want to point out, too, one other thing why I went with FTR, too, is I think they're going to eventually defend those tag titles against Adam Copeland and Christian. So we've set up that as well. Now, let's talk about it then. Hangman Page versus MJF. MJF had basically threatened to burn Mark Briscoe alive. Wasn't a fan of that segment. And if Hangman didn't agree to some traditions on this match for the world title. One, no title can change hands on a count out or DQ. And the other one is MJF does not have to use his contractual contract anymore from the Casino Gauntlet. I think that's the most important one. I say Adam Page is going to win this match. Then FTR is going to come out, help MJF. They're going to beat the shit out of Adam Page. And then MJF is going to use that contract to cash in right then and there and take the title.
Oh, that's interesting, because I saw it as, we're going to get a great main event. Somehow Adam Page is going to pull out the victory.
Mm-hmm.
And then, Dynamite this Wednesday, MJF mentions that he's going to get a rematch at All Out. There's going to be some kind of match stipulation set for the main event, and that's the main event there. But I mean, the way you guys are putting it with this, it sounds much more likely that there could be a beatdown and then just the cash in after the beatdown.
Plus, we don't know that's the main event because there's one more match on this show, and it's the lights.
Oh, that's right. Well, this could be the main event because this next match is a lights out match.
Right. Well, this could be the last match, Joe. Lights out steel cage match. Golden Lovers. Kenny Omega and Kota Ibushi and Darby Allin, and Hiroshi Tanahashi and Will Ospreay versus the Death Riders, Claudio, Moxley, and the Young Bucks, and Gabe Kidd.
Huge match.
Yeah, I'm trying to think who I actually got winning this match here. This is an interesting match.
Do the Death Riders win and save some face, or does Team AEW finally get that revenge that they've wanted on the Death Riders for so long with all the all-stars of the company?
They got the title already. The Jacksons lost control. I think this might be a chance for the Death Riders and the Young Bucks to get the victory. Plus, Will Ospreay has said, basically said, which is kind of weird, that he might be going under the knife after this. So it kind of makes me wonder if he's even really should be wrestling. But I'm expecting something to happen with Will, and I think will take the fall.
I mean, when you put it that way, it's kind of hard to go against. I'm just looking forward to the spectacle of like all the big stars, cage match at the end. This is really what sold me on the event. Outside of like a couple really good undercard matches, but from what I've heard, and like I said, just time wise, summers are busy for us. I haven't gotten to watch as much AEW, but I've been hearing a lot of good things. So I have high expectations for this show. Oh, that could be interesting. Maybe that could be a 0-hour match.
Yep.
But that is not the only show on Sunday because not going right up against it. But that night you have NXT Heatwave in Lowell, Massachusetts, by the way. Great building for wrestling, great building for NXT. I'm going to repeat myself with what I said about AEW. I haven't watched a ton of NXT lately, but we really enjoy this show, and their pay-per-views always deliver. This is a 6:30 time they have on the thing, but I believe the show actually starts at 7:30, maybe even 8. But Dave, let's run down this card, give some predictions. A lot of great talents on this show.
Jordan Grace versus Blake Monroe is the first match. I have a hard time picking this one because, you know, you want to keep the momentum of Jordan going, but Blake is also a star. But right now, JC Jane is the women's champion, so I think you would want a baby face. So I'm going to go Grace, and maybe Monroe gets some heat afterwards.
I could see that because that way, you know, it keeps Jordan's momentum going, but with the beatdown from Blake, she's not losing any. I don't know. You almost want Blake to win, though. I'm going with Jordan Grace as well.
Hank and Tank defend the tag team titles against two members of Dark State. We don't know which ones yet. Tough call. I'm going to go with Hank and Tank. I'm going to say they don't lose the titles yet.
Yeah, it's going to make Hank and Tank look stronger, and you're going to get to feature a couple members of Dark State. It's going to be a hard-hitting tag team match, but I like seeing the momentum that Hank and Tank have at the moment.
Yes, and Dark State's been getting momentum and a lot of big wins, too. I just feel like they're not going to take the titles off Hank and Tank yet. JC Jane versus Masa Slamovich versus Ash by Elegance for the TNA Knockouts World Championship. It's fun that's the title that's being defended here. I got to go with JC because I think she'll lose it at Bound for Glory.
Ooh. I was thinking Ash by Elegance, but I'm going to go with Ash by Elegance. We'll call it a wild card.
Jada Parker versus Kalani Jordan versus Loa Vice in a triple threat match to determine the number one contender to the NXT Championship. Well, that's interesting.
That is a really good match.
And that also maybe makes me rethink my strategy about Jordan having to win, because we could have a big face here winning next. I'm going to go Jada Parker.
Lola Vice, amazing ring. Kalani Jordan, you know, obviously amazing. Oh, wow. I got to go Jada Parker. I feel like she's got the biggest hype behind her.
All right. And I think Cage agrees with us on that one. He had Masha, though. So that's interesting to note. Chelsea Green and Ethan Page versus Tyler May Steele and Tavion Heights mixed tag team match. Just a fun match that got added. I got to go with the Olympians, Tyler May and Tavion. I think this is a showcase for them.
Yeah, I'm right there with you on that one.
All right, main event, Obafemi versus Javon Evans. Joseph, I have no reason to make this prediction at all. Nothing makes sense about this, but I'm going to say Javon Evans pulls off the upset and is going to take the NXT Championship. I say Obafemi's going to the main roster.
I've been there before. I've made that prediction.
I know.
I've been wrong.
Yeah.
I would love to see it. I think it would be a great way to close out this show.
Yes.
But I can't do it again and be let down. WWE has hurt me too many times. I have to go with Obafemi. It's the only thing that makes sense.
It does. It does. I'm ready. All right, look at this, Cade. Evan wins, but why did they cut him off after the pin Tuesday? I don't know. That is interesting. Yeah. I just think it's his time.
I don't know. I wasn't able to watch it. I'm going to have to catch up on it.
We shall see, my friend. We shall see.
Yeah, and guys, if you enjoyed what you saw, please hit that. Oh, yeah, great week of wrestling. Guys, if you like what you saw, please hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that subscribe button. And spoiler alert, we are pre-recording for next week because it is a holiday week. I don't think you want your boys stressing out any more than we need to. Plus, we got some wrestling business to take care of. So next week on the show, we are doing a watch-along of No Holds Barred. We ain't showing it up on the screen because we ain't having our asses taken off of YouTube, but it's on Tubi. You'll get all the instructions before the episode. And why don't you get some entertainment from some of our sponsors?
Read about the Northern Wrestling Federation in the book presented by Russellville.com, The Pro Wrestling Vault, Volume 2. Hear the story of Roger Ruffin, the man who trained Carl Anderson, the Monster Abyss, Jordan Clearwater, Chris Harris, and Jillian Hall.
Plus 45 other short stories, including Jazz, Bobby Eaton, Kamala, Thunder Rosa, Mario Mancini, Scott Casey, PJ Black, Kerry Morton, Sal Renaro, Jeremiah Plunkett, Colby Carino, Bam Bam Malone, and many others.
Get your book today at Russellville.com. Russellville. It's where wrestling lives.
Author Ray Lopez presents Lockup, professional wrestling in our world. Lockup dives headfirst into the colorful world of professional wrestling. Explore the iconic characters, careers, matches, history, and families, and delve into the bizarre and fascinating entwining of professional wrestling and film, television, football, politics, gender, and race. Pre-orders are available now on Amazon.com or at MascotBooks.com. This is the perfect gift for the wrestling fan in your life. Pick up a copy today on Amazon.com or at MascotBooks.com.
Hey, all you goddamn wrestling fans out there, listen, Old Black Bart has got a book. It's called Wrestle. I like that. It's got some dadgum good stories in there about some dadgum good wrestlers.
Read stories of Dusty Rhodes, Devon Eric, Scott Casey, Sergeant Slaughter, Roddy Piper, Mr. Fuji, Ron Bass, Bruiser Brody, Mike Davis, The Grappler, and many others.
And I guarantee you one thing, that it'll be the best dadgum read you've had in a long, long time.
Get your book today at Russellville.com or on Amazon. Russellville, it's where wrestling lives.
Hey fans, it's the man they call Dave with producer Joe, and you probably know us as the commentary team for New Heights Pro Wrestling, but when we're not doing that, we got a podcast.
That is the Working Fans Podcast, where we talk pro wrestling, comedy, MMA, and so much more.
And tell them about that signature segment.
Oh, you talk about the 531?
You know I am.
That is a homegrown creation that has been our namesake. And if you want to know our namesake, we got Chevy, AJ Strange Brew, as well as the two of us.
And why don't you go to our channel, like, subscribe, show us some love.
Rate, review, all of it.